Nobody believed the old Apache woman when she stumbled into Fort Collins, claiming she was searching for her granddaughter. They threw her in jail as a vagrant, but Sheriff Coleman made one decision that night. He gave her water and a blanket instead of a cold cell. By morning, 200 Apache warriors surrounded the fort, and the old woman wasn't a beggar at all. She was the matriarch of the most powerful tribe in Colorado, and her granddaughter was the sheriff's own wife. Welcome to Old Life Stories, quotes from times when respect and love were scarce. What are your thoughts on these times? Don't forget to leave a comment. If you enjoy the story, like and subscribe for more. It's story time. But let's go back to where it all began. 24 hours earlier, on an October evening on the main street of Fort Collins, as the sun set, painting the Colorado mountains, the air cooled quickly. Sheriff Daniel Coleman was looking out of his office, planning his evening patrol. He was 33, a young sheriff, but known to be fair and well-respected. He thought of his wife, Emma. She'd be preparing dinner at home. Maybe he could make it home early tonight. That's when the door slammed open. His deputy, Jake Thornton, burst in, out of breath, his face drawn. "Sheriff, we've got a problem on Main Street. An Apache woman. Old, half-naked, she's disturbing people." Daniel frowned. "Disturbing? What's she doing?" "She's shouting things at people. Sounds like Apache. Nobody understands her. Harry Mason tried to chase her off, but she's resisting." Daniel tightened his belt and grabbed his hat. "Let's go see." The encounter. A small crowd had gathered on Main Street. In the middle of them stood the old Apache woman, perhaps 70, maybe older. Her face was dark and weathered by the sun. Her white hair was tied in 2 braids. Her clothes were torn and dirty, and her bare feet were bloody. She must have walked a very long way. The woman was raising her hands, speaking in Apache. Her voice was harsh and insistent, but Daniel didn't hear a threat. He heard desperation. "What is she saying?" he asked the crowd. No one answered. Then Mason stepped forward, rifle in hand, furious. "Who knows? Probably putting a curse on us. We need to keep these types out of town, Sheriff. They bring sickness, they bring trouble." Daniel shot him a stern look. "Put your weapon down, Mason. She's an old woman, not a threat." "Apaches are always trouble," someone else mumbled. Daniel approached the old woman. She turned to him, and a sudden glimmer of hope sparked in her eyes. She continued speaking, this time slower, as if Daniel might understand. "Do you speak English?" Daniel asked. The woman paused, then spoke in rough, strained English. "Grandchild." "I look for grandchild." "Your grandchild?" Daniel was confused. "Here? In Fort Collins?" "Yes, here. Married to white man." The woman beat her chest. "My grandchild." Find someone in the crowd laughed. "Nonsense. No white man would marry an Apache." But something was clicking in Daniel's mind. Emma, his wife, Emma. She always had a bit of mystery about her. She spoke little of her past and never of her family. "What's your grandchild's name?" he asked, his heart quickening. The woman looked directly at him. "Morning Star, Apache name. Morning Star, white name." She paused, struggling to remember. "Emma." Daniel's world tilted. Emma. Could his wife Emma have an Apache named Morning Star? Jake whispered. "Sheriff, this woman's lost her mind. Let's lock her up. We'll figure something out in the morning." Daniel was still looking at the woman. There was no sign of deceit in her elderly eyes, just weariness and determination. "Wait a minute," he said. He took his canteen from his hip and offered it to the woman. "Water. Drink." The woman drank like a desperate soul, water running down her chin. When she finished, she gave Daniel a small nod of thanks. "What is your name?" Daniel asked. "Silver Hawk. I came from very far, 3 moons. I walked. My horse died." Her voice broke. "I must find my grandchild. Important. Very important." "Why? What happened?" But Silver Hawk just shook her head. "I must see her first. Tell her." Daniel took a deep breath. This woman might be crazy or dangerous, but his gut was telling him something else. This woman was a grandmother, risking everything for her grandchild. "Jake," he said, "take her to a cell, but give her a clean cell, a blanket, food, and water. Don't mistreat her." "But Sheriff, I said so. Treat her well." Daniel looked Jake squarely in the eyes. "I'm going home. I'll be back in a few hours." The murmuring crowd dispersed. Daniel mounted his horse and rode toward his home, his mind racing. The unveiling. He had met Emma 3 years ago. She was working at a boarding house in Denver, a quiet, beautiful, mysterious woman. When asked about her past, she would simply say, "I'm an orphan. My family died. I don't want to talk about it." Daniel had fallen in love with her quiet strength, her gentle hand, the deep sorrow sometimes seen in her eyes. They married 6 months later and moved to Fort Collins. It was a happy marriage, but Emma's past remained a shadow in their time, never fully explained. Now, he might have stumbled upon the truth. When he arrived home, Emma was in the kitchen preparing dinner. He watched her. Her warm smile always melted Daniel's heart. "You're early," she said. "Dinner isn't quite ready." "Emma," Daniel said, taking off his gun belt, "I need to talk to you." She heard the seriousness in his voice. Her smile faded. "What is it?" "An old Apache woman came to town today. Silver Hawk. She's looking for her grandchild." Emma's face went white. Her hand dropped the knife clinging to the table. "Emma," Daniel continued, "she has a grandchild named Morning Star, married to a white man." Tears welled in Emma's eyes. "Daniel, is it true?" Daniel's hand reached out to her. "Are you her grandchild?" Silence. Then Emma bowed her head, tears running down her cheeks. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I am her grandchild." Daniel held her close, gripping her arms. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I was afraid," Emma wept. "I was afraid you would leave me if you found out. Everyone hates the Apache. I thought if I lived like a white woman, maybe no one would ever know." "I will never leave you," Daniel said firmly. "Never. But Emma, your grandmother is looking for you. She walked 3 months to find you." Emma gasped, shocked. "My grandmother? Here. In the jail. People treated her like a vagrant, but I gave her food and water." Emma put her hand to her mouth. "I have to see her. Now." "We'll go," Daniel said. "But Emma, why? Why did she walk 3 months to find you?" Emma wiped her eyes. "I don't know. But if my grandmother came all this way, it must be something very important. Maybe my father died, or the tribe is in danger. The prophecy." They drove back to town together. The sheriff's office was dark, only a single lamp burning. Jake was waiting at the door. "Sheriff, that woman, she's saying some strange things, talking about warriors, says they're coming." Daniel looked at Emma anxiously. "Do you understand her?" Emma stepped forward. "I need to see her." Jake led them to the cell. Inside, Silverhawk was sitting wrapped in a blanket. When she saw Emma, the old weary face brightened. She sprang up and began speaking in rapid, emotional Apache. Emma replied in the same language. The two women hugged, cried, and spoke quickly to each other. Daniel could only watch, not understanding the content, but sensing the raw emotion. Finally, Emma turned back to him, her face pale. "Daniel," she said, "grandmother says there is danger. A white man is attacking us, trying to take our land. My father was killed 2 months ago." Daniel's heart tightened. "My God, Emma. Grandmother came to warn me. She says the enemies are looking for me too, because I am the heir to the chief's lineage. If I die, their claim to the land is secured." "Who?" Daniel asked sharply. "Who is attacking?" Emma spoke with her grandmother, then turned back. "A man named Whitman, rich, powerful. He found gold on our land. Now he wants it all." Daniel knew the name Whitman. Charles Whitman, one of the richest men in the territory, ruthless and greedy. "How many warriors are coming?" Daniel asked. Emma spoke with her grandmother again. 200, maybe more. They're coming by dawn. To protect me." Jake swore. 200 Apache? Sheriff, we need to alert the fort, arm everyone." But Daniel shook his head. "No, they didn't come to attack. They came to protect." "But," I said, "no." Daniel stared hard at Jake. Then he turned to Emma. "Tell your grandmother. I'll find her a place outside the jail, comfortable, secure. And when the warriors arrive in the morning, I'll go out to talk to them," Emma translated. Silverhawk bowed her head, showing deep respect to Daniel. Then she spoke long and seriously. Emma translated, "Grandmother thanks you. She says you are a rare man, good-hearted. Because you protected me, helped her, the family will protect you. The kingdom built by kindness." That night, Daniel, Emma, and Silverhawk stayed in the small house next to the church, the pastor's house, which was empty. Daniel spent the night on patrol, watching, listening. At dawn, he heard them coming, the soft, powerful sound of hooves, of horses moving in unison. Daniel stepped outside. 200 Apache warriors had surrounded Fort Collins, mounted, silent, still. The sun was rising behind them, outlining their silhouettes with golden light. It was an impressive and unsettling sight. At the lead, an older man, perhaps 60, battle-worn, feathered headdress. The chief. Daniel stepped forward, hands raised, showing he was unarmed. The chief dismounted and approached him. His eyes were sharp, judging. "Are you Sheriff Coleman?" he said in English, with a heavy accent. "Yes. I am Running Bear, Silver Hawk's son, Morning Star's uncle." He paused. "Is my mother here? Is she safe?" "She is safe," Daniel said. "I treated her well."